Part 7: Vibrational Realities. The frequencies of existence beyond the veil. Beyond the veil of the visible, beyond the grasp of the senses shaped by material limits, lies a domain of realities woven not from matter, but from vibration. A vast spectrum of frequencies that ripple through the infinite layers of existence. These vibrational realities are the hidden frameworks upon which the manifest unfolds, the unseen waves that carry the pattern and pulse of all being. To those who dwell beyond the linear confines of time and space, reality is experienced not as fixed substance, but as a continuum of resonance. Here, form and essence are mutable, defined less by shape than by the quality and intensity of vibration, a subtle dance of oscillations that rise and fall, merge and diverge, crafting realms of light and shadow, density and void. This is the realm hinted at by ancient symbols, the spirals inscribed on temple walls, the undulating serpents that encircle the cosmic tree, the rhythmic beating of drums echoing the heartbeat of creation itself. These are not mere images but echoes of vibrational truths, signposts to a reality where every existence is a note in the cosmic symphony. Within these vibrational realities, each frequency represents a domain of possibility, a unique mode of being and knowing. The boundaries between these domains are permeable yet distinct, like overlapping waves on a shore, where one may glimpse another yet never fully inhabit both at once. The beings who navigate these realms do so by attuning their consciousness to specific frequencies, shifting the resonance of their awareness to access dimensions layered beneath and beyond the familiar. This attunement is neither trivial nor mechanical. It requires profound discipline and sensitivity, a cultivation of inner harmony that echoes the wider harmonies of the cosmos. Such shifts alter perception and identity simultaneously, allowing passage through realities where time is cyclical or fragmented, where space is compressed or expanded, and where the self may multiply or dissolve. In these domains, the laws governing matter and energy transform, replaced by patterns of vibration that define what can exist and how. The very fabric of causality is reshaped. Events become waves overlapping and interfering, their outcomes influenced by shifts in frequency rather than linear sequence. The ripples of intention resonate across these layers, weaving futures and pasts in patterns of vibrational coherence or discord. This complex interplay gives rise to phenomena that defy conventional understanding. Echoes of possibilities, spectral presences, and shadows of events yet to unfold. Such manifestations are not illusions but real expressions of vibrational states that brush against the edges of manifest existence. The technologies beyond space-time harness these vibrational realities, interfacing with frequencies that correspond to distinct dimensions or states of being. They manipulate resonance to open portals, to heal disruptions in the vibrational fabric, and to realign systems thrown out of harmonic balance. The process is subtle. To disrupt one frequency carelessly is to risk cascading effects, a dissonance that reverberates across realms, fracturing cohesion and inviting entropy. Conversely, mastery involves not domination, but nuanced modulation, guiding vibrations into structures that restore order, reveal hidden pathways, and unlock latent potentials. For the individual, understanding vibrational realities reshapes the nature of experience. The self is no longer a fixed entity, but a resonant field, a node in the vast web of vibrational interplay. Identity becomes fluid, capable of expansion or contraction, integration or fragmentation, depending on the harmonics engaged. This view challenges the solidity of matter and the fixity of form, revealing that what is seen and felt is but a surface phenomenon, a condensation of deeper vibrational patterns. It suggests that transformation, whether physical, mental, or spiritual, arises from shifts in resonance rather than external alteration alone. Yet the vibrational realms remain elusive and largely inaccessible to untrained awareness. They are spaces where the known slips into the unknown, where the mind confronts its limits and the will must soften into receptive attunement. Ancient traditions hinted at these realities through rites of sound, rhythm, and movement, practices designed to shift the resonance of body and mind, opening doorways to realms where hidden knowledge and power reside. These rites are echoes of a forgotten attunement, gestures toward the mastery of vibration that underpins true evolution. In the great architecture of existence, vibrational realities form the unseen scaffolding, channels through which the pulse flows, carrying information, energy, and intent. To engage with them is to touch the essence of creation, to enter a realm where the fabric of existence is alive with motion and meaning. The custodians beyond space-time understand this intimately. Their science is a symphony of frequencies, a language of resonance that writes and rewrites the codes of reality itself. Their technologies sing in harmonics that humans only faintly perceive, instruments of subtle power and profound mystery. In contemplating vibrational realities, the seeker must embrace paradox, the infinite complexity within seeming simplicity, the fluidity underlying apparent stability, and the profound depths hidden beneath surface silence. It is a journey not of conquest, but of listening, attuning to the ever-shifting song that underlies all that is and all that may be. Part 8. Language beyond symbols, the pulse of meaning in the unseen. In realms where time folds and space intertwines, the language known to mortals, the twisting lines and sounds that encode thought, becomes a fragile scaffold, inadequate to hold the vastness of meaning that courses through existence. Beyond symbols lies a mode of communication not constructed from signs or codes, but from vibrations of intent, pulses that weave meaning directly into the fabric of consciousness. This language is not spoken nor inscribed. It is felt, perceived, and enacted in dimensions where thought, feeling, and reality ripple as one. Its syntax is not linear nor static but dynamic and multi-layered, allowing multiple streams of meaning to flow simultaneously, intersecting and refracting like light through a prism. To those attuned to it, this language reveals the texture of being, the hidden harmonies and dissonances that shape creation itself. It is a language of resonance, where communication occurs not through abstract representation, but through direct transmission of states, energies, and patterns. The symbols of old, letters, glyphs, formulas, are but echoes or pale shadows of this deeper pulse. They function as approximations, tools to guide the mind toward the ineffable, yet they fall short of conveying the fullness of experience or the totality of intention embedded in these higher modes. This mode of expression transcends dualities. It carries both question and answer, cause and effect, emotion and logic, within single waves of transmission. It is simultaneously an opening and a closure, a statement and its negation, inviting participation rather than passive reception. Those who have glimpsed fragments of this language describe it as a living matrix, constantly shifting yet coherent, infinite yet precise, alien yet intimate. It moves through layers of perception, sometimes arriving as flashes of insight, other times as profound shifts in awareness that reorder understanding from the ground up. In its utterance, time itself seems to expand and contract. Meanings unfold in spirals rather than lines, allowing the communicator and receiver to share not just information but a momentary convergence of worlds, an event where separate minds touch across vast distances and dimensions. The custodians beyond space-time have mastered this language, shaping it with the same care and precision as a master musician shapes a symphony. Their exchanges occur in fields of resonance that bind thought and reality, creating effects that ripple through existence, shaping events, evolving consciousness, and opening pathways to realms beyond. To approach this language without preparation is to confront a paradox. It demands both surrender and mastery, an openness to dissolution alongside a steadfast presence. The uninitiated may find themselves overwhelmed by its depth or lost in its infinite folds, yet those who cultivate the inner discipline and attunement begin to perceive meaning not as a puzzle to solve, but as a living force to inhabit. In this way, language beyond symbols is less a tool of communication and more a gesture of communion, a dance of energies that acknowledges the profound interconnectedness of all things while preserving the mystery of difference. It invites the seeker to step beyond the comfort of words into a realm where silence is full, where absence carries presence, and where the very act of exchange becomes a transformative event. Here, meaning is not fixed, but fluid, a constantly evolving pulse that reflects the living, breathing nature of existence itself. To engage with it is to enter a dialogue with the cosmos, a conversation written in the vibrations of reality, beyond the reach of ordinary thought, yet at the heart of true understanding. Part 9. Self-creating matter, the living fabric of becoming. Matter, as understood by those bound to linear space and time, is a passive substance, solid, fixed, and inert, waiting for forces to act upon it. Yet beyond this veil, in the deeper folds of cosmic structure, matter reveals itself as something far more profound. Not a static given, but a living current, a constant act of becoming that is self-originating, self-sustaining, and self-transforming. This self-creating matter is not inert clay shaped by external hands, but a dynamic weave of forces and consciousness, an interplay where form and essence co-arise in an ongoing dance of emergence. It is a substance suffused with intention, a fabric that knows itself into being through cycles of vibration, resonance, and flux. To glimpse this is to see beyond the illusion of separateness, to understand that the very atoms and particles are not mere building blocks, but active participants in the unfolding of reality. They carry within them echoes of awareness, traces of the primal pulse that animates existence. In this view, the universe is a great loom, weaving patterns of matter through the oscillations of energy and the feedback of awareness. Matter does not simply respond to laws, it co-creates the laws as it forms, shifting in response to the subtle currents of meaning that flow through the hidden dimensions. This idea shatters the classical hierarchy that places mind above matter, observer above observed. Instead, matter and consciousness intertwine, co-emerging in cycles of feedback and refinement. Matter listens and matter speaks, not in words but in shifts of state and resonance. The living fabric of self-creating matter unfolds across scales, from the tiniest quantum fluctuations that ripple with potential to vast cosmic structures whose forms reflect patterns of self-organization and emergence. Each level carries the imprint of this creative dance, where matter becomes a mirror for deeper realities, an expression of universal intention made manifest. Such matter possesses a kind of proto-consciousness, a foundational capacity for self-reference and adaptation that precedes what we commonly call life. It can shape itself in response to stimuli, not simply through reaction, but through a form of nascent volition, a subtle directedness encoded within the quantum fields and vibrational webs that underlie physicality. This self-creative capacity is why the universe is not frozen in stasis, but eternally unfolding, evolving not as a machine, but as a living organism whose growth is guided by the intrinsic creativity of its own substance. The advanced civilizations that inhabit realms beyond space-time have learned to engage this self-creating matter directly, no longer as passive engineers but as co-creators with the fabric of existence itself. Their technologies do not impose form from without, but collaborate with matter's own agency, guiding its evolution with precision and respect. This collaboration is subtle and demanding. It requires attuning to the hidden pulse that courses through matter, listening to its murmurs, and discerning its latent potentials. Through this dialogue, matter may be shaped without violence, grown, folded, or awakened into new states of being that serve functions beyond mere utility. Such mastery transcends our common notions of fabrication or construction. It is a form of alchemy writ large, not the crude transformation of substances but the gentle invitation for matter to reveal and extend its own hidden capacities. In this light, the concept of matter expands to include the intangible aspects woven into its fabric, the interplay of information, energy, and primordial awareness that animates form. Matter is thus both the stage and the actor in the cosmic drama, capable of rewriting its own script in concert with consciousness. Yet this self-creating nature of matter remains largely hidden from those confined to the materialist paradigm. It lies beneath layers of approximation and abstraction, visible only to those who have developed the faculties to perceive beyond the apparent solidity of the world. For the individual, recognition of self-creating matter invites a profound shift in identity and agency. The self is no longer separate from the world, but part of a continuous creative flow, both shaped by and shaping the living substance of existence. This awareness brings with it responsibility and humility, to understand that every act of creation echoes in the depths of being, reverberating through the intertwined webs of matter and mind. To create is to participate in the sacred unfolding of reality itself, to awaken the sleeping potential within the fabric of the universe. The mythologies of old, the enigmatic symbols carved in stone, and the whispered lore of distant stars all hint at this truth. The world as a living canvas, matter as a conscious collaborator, and creation as an ongoing act of coalescence between the seen and unseen. In embracing the self-creating nature of matter, the seeker steps into a cosmic rhythm, a dance of emergence that defies finality and invites infinite becoming. It is a path of mystery and revelation, where the very ground of existence pulses with life, waiting to be known and engaged. Part 10, the veil between worlds, the threshold of becoming. Between the worlds, stretched like a shimmering membrane, lies the veil, a boundary at once fragile and immense, subtle and unyielding, a liminal expanse that both separates and connects. This veil is neither mere division nor simple barrier, but a dynamic threshold, a living interface where realities pulse and intertwine. It is the breath of the cosmos, the quivering edge where the known meets the unknown, where form dissolves into possibility, and where the many-folded layers of existence fold back upon themselves. To cross the veil is not simply to move from one place to another, but to enter a realm where the very nature of being is questioned, reshaped, and reborn. The veil is woven from threads of vibration, consciousness, and intent, each strand a potential pathway, a shimmering portal. It is a place of paradox, where light and shadow coexist, where boundaries blur and identities shift like sand in the shifting winds of a cosmic desert. To the unprepared, the veil is a labyrinth of confusion, a mirror of fears and illusions. It reflects the fragmented self, the unintegrated shadows, and the blind spots hidden within. Yet for the seeker who has cultivated attunement and clarity, the veil becomes a gateway of transformation, a sacred passage through which new modes of understanding emerge. In ancient tales, this threshold was veiled in mystery, guarded by sentinels both benevolent and fearsome, accessible only through rites of passage, trials of endurance, and sacrifices of certainty. It was the place where the soul's journey turned inward and outward simultaneously, the crucible of becoming. From the perspective of advanced beings who dwell beyond linear time and space, the veil is a functional interface, a membrane through which realities can be navigated, woven, and harmonized. It is the interface between the vibrational realities and the material world, between potential and manifestation, between the self and the multiplicity of forms. The veil is not uniform. It shifts and pulses with the rhythm of cosmic cycles and local conditions. At times it thins, offering glimpses of other dimensions, whispers of distant intelligences, and flashes of deeper truths. At others, it thickens into impenetrable mists, shielding the mysteries from premature revelation and protecting the delicate balance of existence. Behind the veil lie realms where space and time unravel, dimensions of infinite folding, recursive reflections, and echoing possibilities. Here, causality loops back upon itself, consciousness fragments and reunites, identities multiply and converge. Travel through the veil is not a journey of movement alone, but one of transmutation. The traveler sheds the weight of fixed forms, relinquishes the certainty of known laws, and embraces the flux of becoming. This passage demands both courage and surrender, an alignment of will and receptivity. The custodians beyond space-time serve as guides and gatekeepers of the veil. Their knowledge is not of domination, but of stewardship, knowing when to open pathways and when to seal them, understanding the consequences of crossing thresholds too soon or without readiness. For humanity, the veil represents the edge of current perception and understanding, a challenge and invitation to expand beyond the familiar confines of space and time. It is the boundary where the self begins to touch the greater whole, where illusion dissolves into insight, and where the future of evolution flickers in the interplay of light and shadow. To honor the veil is to recognize that some mysteries resist explanation, that the path forward may be obscured by the very nature of thresholds, and that true wisdom lies not in conquering the unknown but in dwelling within its questions. As the pulse of existence carries all toward ever greater complexity, the veil remains a constant, a reminder of the tension between separation and unity, between the known and the possible, between being and becoming. To pass through the veil is to be reborn, not once but continually, into new forms of awareness, new relationships to reality, and new capacities to participate in the unfolding cosmos.